Cowboys Nation. I just wanted to check with you guys to see if what I actually witnessed today is was I dreaming? I mean, what an absolute ass beating that the Lions gave our Cowboys, and I mean, it was over from the start. And if you listen to our show this morning, we talked about what the Cowboys would have to do to get into the game and to be able to compete, being, down so many starters on defense. The Lions were going to get some points out. There was no make no mistake about it. I mean, they were going to score a lot, but it was up to our offense to do their job and to at least keep it close. And there's something wrong with this offense. Now we know the running game. I mean, make no mistake about it. The running game is it's been a problem all year, and we've talked about it. And I watched that 1 o'clock game. What's up, Jeff? What's up, everyone coming in? Man, this is therapy session. This is I figured, you know what? We'll get some therapy session. Let me get my reading glasses on because I had to do this from a phone. So I need to be able to see all you guys and see who's yelling at me and see what's going on. Maybe I'm in the minority here. I don't put this on our defense, man. I'm not going to sit there and trash our defense. Obviously, they got annihilated, but I'm going to put it on our offense. I mean, our offense. This was a game where they had to keep it competitive, and they didn't. And I'm not a knee jerk person, so I'm not going to be woe is me. The season's over and this and that. But this team has got some issues that they've got to resolve on offense, and whether it be they're not probably Jerry's not going to go get another running back, so it is what it is. But they've got to figure out they've got no identity. They've got no identity on offense, and it's getting pathetic to watch. And understand they almost gave up 47 points. We also went for it on fourth down a few times and turned the ball over on our side and had turnover. The defense was terrible. Make no mistake about it. But I'm not gonna put this on the defense. Just not going because we all knew going into it that Detroit was going to score a lot of points. It was going to have to be a 38-34 game. It would have to be a 42-40 game. It was going to have to be a big game by our offense. Our offense was going to step up even for it to be competitive. The Lions run the ball very well. They play very disciplined. They've got good receivers. So that defense, I mean, you're playing with your fourth DN, your fifth DN, your fourth cornerback, your fifth cornerback. You don't have your middle linebacker. The defense was going to have their hands full. I mean, that's just is what it is. And I'm not going to kill them for it. Maybe I'm in the minority. This to me, if the finger's going to get pointed, it's going to be the offense because I didn't know if we'd win the game. It probably, if I was a betting man in Vegas, I would have probably taken. I mean, what was it? 3 points? That sounded like a good bet for Detroit, giving up 3 points because I just didn't think the Dallas defense was going to stop them. I had thoughts that our offense was going to be able to put up points. Now, would they put up enough? I don't know, but they definitely didn't put up. Let's see. Z complains to the head coach. To me, again, you can go back and we can ride on Jerry, and it's a cultural issue with this team because yes, Zeke goes out in the media and says he's not, doesn't know his role, this and that, and then they try and give him the ball in. But this game was out of hand from the start. Unfortunately, I missed like the first drive because the Fox had Tampa because I live in Tampa, so that was the game on, and I had to wait for that to finish. I probably wish they wouldn't win overtime, so I wouldn't even had to see it. But anyway, no, the way you stop people from scoring when you have a depleted defense is you got to control the ball and you got to keep the pressure on their offense to match you head to head, and we didn't. I mean, look, I love Dak, and I know my man Ultra's in here, so he knows I defend Dak. He's got to own this game, and for anyone who's sitting there saying that he doesn't have to own a big share of this game, you're kidding yourself. And that doesn't mean he's bad. That doesn't mean the season's over. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I mean, I remember I'm looking at Tom Brady. They got beat 31-0 by the Bills. They go on to win the Super Bowl. So shit happens. It's a week to week league. That's why I told people I don't get too high. I don't get too low. I'm not gonna sit here and throw a shoe through my TV. But when they won last week, I didn't buy my Super Bowl tickets. It's going to be a process with this team. They got to get healthy on defense. Hopefully, the bye week they get healthy. They got to be more disciplined. That has been a problem for this team long before McCarthy and probably long before Garrett. I mean, it's been a problem, probably since Jimmy Johnson. I mean, that's how far back it goes. But they need to, they've got to be more disciplined. The offense has to get an identity. If you can't run the ball, then screw it. Go five wide, go wide, whatever it is, man. Running, no run and shoot, just shoot, and just the way it is. But to run the ball and get 2 yards continuously is just, to me, I'd rather them throw the ball. I just like, why even bother running the ball if that's what the results you're going to get. Yeah, my son texted me about Diggs. Cornerbacks don't like tackling, and I'm not going to give a pass on it. That was pathetic, but it was the same thing in that San Francisco playoff game. A lot of people put it on Dak, but Diggs had an opportunity to lay Kittle out and separate that ball, and he didn't. He's not a physical cornerback, and not like, I mean, there's not a lot of cornerbacks that are. There's not a lot of cornerbacks that are. So I just think it is what it is. Yeah, yeah, if they get a top pick, they get a top pick, but I'm not big into folding, just not in my DNA. Um, like I said, it's one game. Last week we're all praising the Cowboys of their tenacity and their this or that, and the defense showing up, when they really needed to gut it out. With this team there's a problem with this team being at home and not performing. Pathetic performances. Thankfully, I sold my tickets to this game, so I didn't have to witness it. I sold my tickets to the Saints game. I didn't have to witness it. I did go to the Ravens game and I had to witness that, but at least I saw a little bit of fight in the end. But make no mistake, they got their ass whooped, and they've been continuing to get their ass whooped at home. I don't understand it. I don't get why. Now I think I know why, some of the reason, but you guys are professionals and you got to overcome any distractions and anything like that. That's just my opinion. Screw Jerry's birthday, man. This is my daughter's 18th birthday, man. And you're gonna try and ruin my daughter's day. That's when I get a little personal with it. That is no way to ruin my daughter's birthday. Thankfully, we celebrated the night before. We didn't have any football, so no one was going to be disappointed. But ownership, there you go. It's the culture of the team. Now, I'm not going to say that that's all the 100% problem, but it's definitely part of the problem, because that's been the only constant through all the years. You've changed coaches, you've changed quarterbacks, you've changed, you know, running backs, defense. You've drafted all these guys, and this is from a roster standpoint, they're still talented. So it comes down to the mentality and the toughness and everything that comes with it, and that's culture driven down from the owner. I mean, it's thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. She did have a good birthday. She didn't have to witness it. She was out with her friends having, enjoying herself, so she didn't have to sit here. And some people ask, do you turn off the game? I watch it. I'm watching Dan Campbell, and you know what? Someone said that it was, they're running it up on us and this. Screw that, man. Stop them. Score more points. That we deserve to get our ass kicked, and if they want to rub our face in it and rub our nose in it, then they got every right to. This is our crib. We're at home, and they embarrassed us at home. Playoff contender? I don't know. I mean, I got to see this team healthy. This team hasn't been healthy. I don't know. If you're going to say today, no, absolutely not. Not a playoff contender. But you've seen teams. I think it was Green Bay last year started 2-5 and end up going to playoffs and end up making a deep run into the playoffs and really had San Francisco beat. So it's what I say is I'm just not a knee jerk person. I just not my DNA. It's one game. It would be like me saying that, USC loses to Penn State. They lost the other game, that they suck, that they're shitty team. No, they're still a good team. Maybe they find a way to get. I only said that because I see SoCal's in there. So, but that's just the way it goes. It's football. I had this team 3-3 after 6 weeks. So, and that was healthy. I thought this team was going to get better as the year goes on. And then and then they would win and they would get 10, 11 wins, whatever it ends up being. They would fight for a division or they'd fight for the wild card. If I'm being honest, I'd rather them be a wild card team because they play like shit at home. I'd rather them be on the road. They've played they've played uh, well on the road. They've played well on the road. Um, Outside the contract. No, I mean that's the problem. You like the Kendrick sign, and I'll give them that. They get some depth at defensive tackle. The only thing I would say my biggest problem with them on the front office was not addressing the running back, not addressing it in the draft, and not addressing it in free agency. I mean, we all knew that we were going to have trouble running the ball. You put it on Zeke, who's his best years are behind him. His role should be short yardage, should be goal line. And then you have Rico, who, I mean, Rico's been on this team for like 4 or 5 years. I mean, he hasn't been able to be a starter. He hasn't been able to get playing time. Now, all of us, it reminds me of Troy Hambrick. I mean, it really, and it's nothing against Rico, but, they wanted Troy Hambrick. They wanted Troy Hambrick. Well, you got Troy Hambrick, and what happened? I mean, he couldn't run the ball. Um, they could have got a running back. Running backs, you could have got a running back at a very reasonable price. So that's my problem with the front office is they didn't address the most glaring need of all. And if you can't run the ball, you can't run an offense. You got no identity. And if you look at this team, they've got no identity. And if yeah, I saw something. If McCarthy wants Rico, if that's then McCarthy can go down with the ship. Then if he really believes in it, then why didn't he start him last year? Why didn't he play about? Why didn't he play the year before? Why didn't he play the year before? I mean, there's a reason sometimes. I mean, a run not a quarterback, not a quarterback. Because quarterbacks they sit for a couple years, they learn the offense, and then I mean, running back's a young man's game. You'd think you'd be running the ball right out of college, you'd be getting in there, and he did. His practice squad, and it's nothing against Rico, but you're going to put all your hope and future into an unproven running back. And the every day I see Derrick Henry running the ball, and you see what he does when he needs it. That's, I mean, that's it. And we all knew it. Anyone with, and I got my glasses on, so anyone with four eyes, two eyes, whatever it is, you can't tell me that you didn't think this Cowboys team was had a glaring hole at running back, and they did nothing. They did nothing about it. So, yeah, my Canes would have whooped their ass today. Make no mistake about it. In Texas, they would too. And I know I put a tweet out about the SEC, and I'll be honest with you. I kind of, I have these, my memory just thinks SEC. I honestly totally forgot Texas was in the SEC. They were not meant for that. But when I put it out, all the Texas fans came at me. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well own it. Texas is a good football team. There's no doubt about it. They're the number one team, and I think them in Oregon, Miami, it's going to be a fun playoff with them. And it's hard to win every game. I mean, is Texas going to have a hiccup? They probably will. Miami could easily have a hiccup. I mean, you play close and you get close and you get close. Eventually, that dramatic finish isn't going to be there. You're going to come up short. So, anyway, let's see. Front office, Dallas keeps saying all in for the last. Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to Jerry. Jerry to me is at a point where it's just comedy. I wait for his little one-liners. He's a sales guy. He is not. He doesn't have the drive and just what it takes to be a GM at this point in his life. And that's nothing against him, but people at his point of his life should be enjoying themselves, relax, and enjoy the money. Put professionals in that job. Now he knew football. I mean, he was a national champion. He played college or high level. I mean, D1 college. So I know he knows football, but I just don't think I think it's passed him by, and I think it's time to move on. But he's not going to. I mean, who are we kidding? That's why it's just I know the fire GM, and it sounds great, but it's just you know it's just it is what it is. And I guess Jerry, he's already has a little press conference, very concerning, very humbling. This was a shocker. I mean, that's what he says after every loss. I mean, that's what's said after every loss. And I don't need to hear that anymore. I need to hear, what are you going to do about it? I don't want to hear we like our running back room. I don't want to hear, well, we like the guys we have. Go out and do something about it. The NFC, I said it, is wide open. It is. Give me the dominant team. It's the Minnesota Vikings. I ran into a guy when I was grabbing my lunch. He was a Vikings fan. He said, take care of the Lions. I said, well, we're going to try, but probably not going to happen unless we play unbelievable on offense and okay on defense, and that didn't happen. Everything went opposite of what it was. But the Lion, I mean, the Falcon, the Vikings, the Lions, the Falcons, the Bucks look good. The Saints, everyone had them in the Super Bowl. They've lost four in a row. I mean, it is just you just don't know. So it's a week to week league. Um, the Washington looked okay against the Ravens, but I mean, Lamar Jackson threw for over 300 on him. Derrick Henry ran all over him. Every team is flawed. I mean, the only team that is out there is the Chiefs. And as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're always going to be there. You're always going to be there. And hey, the Lions, they showed it. I mean, they showed it, and I said they were a formidable opponent. So, and they proved it, and they deserved it, and they beat our ass. And let's see, if he's shocked at the outcome, he should sell the team. This wasn't shocking. No, I mean, I'm not shocked they lost. I'm shocked. I'm not even shocked how many points the defense gave up because they were so outmanned. I mean, you're going to cover Williamson and St. Brown and the other receiver with Diggs, another guy I don't know. You got J. Lou, but then you also got to cover their tight end. I mean, we were so outmanned with injuries. You don't have your second corner, your third corner. You've got J. Lou, your slot guy there, okay, but you're down to like your fifth outside corner. So it is. I mean, the defense was going to get lit up. I mean, everyone knew it. What is shocking and disappointing, and they got to own it, is the offense, and it's got to start with the coach. It's got to start because he's the offensive coordinator. It's got to start with Dak Prescott. Him and CD Lamb, for some reason, they just don't seem, something seems to be off. I mean, even when my wife, who's sitting next to me watching the game, she sees it. And she even said, why are they so flat? Like, it seems like every time they're at home, it's just they're so flat. So, she's a semi-casual. I don't even call it, she's a semi-casual fan. And she can see it plain as day. I mean, so don't tell me the coaches don't see it. Don't tell me these owners don't see it. Don't say none of these other people see it. Well, do something about it. Change something. Whatever your radical change you need to make, but if you want to do something about it to save the season and to fix it, it's the offense that needs to be fixed. I'm just saying. The offense got 3 field goals. The offense, I mean, at the end of the day, what they put up 20 points in Pittsburgh. I don't know if the offense has put up more than 24 points this year. I don't even know. Yeah, but that always comes with it, man. That always all those guys do it. All those guys do it, man. They all do. I did not see that. So elaborate because I started zoning out on some of the games, but they need to do. It starts with Parsons, Diggs, Lamb, and Dak. They need to be the leaders of this team. They've got to do something about it. And if they don't do something about it, that's on them. And CD's got his money. Dak's got his money. Parsons will get his money. Diggs has got his money. But they got to start thinking long and hard because they need leaders on this team. And you look at the Lions. They don't have, Aiden Hutchinson. I saw that when it happened, and I knew exactly what happened. I'm glad they didn't show the replay. I saw it when they were going to break, and it's terrible, and you never want to see an injury. But I mean, he's their best player, and they don't have a lot of superstars. All that's why I say you don't need to be. Your team doesn't need to be littered with superstars. You need a lot of role players, but a lot of guys that have that lunchbox mentality that goes there and they just get the job done. They're not worried about the glam. They're not worried about all that stuff. And that's the biggest battle you have with the Cowboys because they are the most visible team. They are a brand, and everyone creates their own brand off it. I mean, you see, but Danucci, he does a hat company, does all this stuff. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys can help you launch into things outside of football, and that's the biggest thing of staying hungry. And I think sometimes that's the flaw with the Cowboys; they lose that hunger. But yeah, she said it looked like the playoff game. Every home game has been looked like the playoff game. I don't even know what the hell's going on. So um, thank God they can move off Steele. Yeah, Steele. I think at this point. I mean, I would really consider putting Guyton at right tackle. I don't know. I would just maybe run with that and see what happens. Zimmer needs to be placed front and center. Again, I'm not going to kill Zimmer because of what he has. You know, could you name their defensive ends? I didn't even know who Wheat was a couple weeks ago. I mean, you've got guys on your defense that you don't even know who the hell they are, and it's just there. I've never seen one side of the ball get hit with so many injuries at once. Now, when they all come back, um, don't forget they lost Nealon too. So you lost Parsons, Tank, and Nealon. Your three top pass rushers are gone. I mean, you're down to the bottom of the barrel. Um, I'm not. Again, I don't think they need a running. I don't think they need a receiver. I think they need a running back. I think they need identity. I think they need balance. They have no balance. They've got to be able to run the ball. I mean, look at, and again, you're not going to find the running backs that Detroit has, but go, a running game starts it all. I mean, that starts where you can do trick plays because a running ball, you got to respect it. That play action pass and do whatever the hell you want. It all starts and ends with the running game. And if you can't run the ball, you're not going to win. Where's Dalvin? I don't know. I mean, they must know something we don't because you'd think that they'd say, you know what? Let's at least put Dalvin in. What do we got to lose? I mean, at this point, what do you have to lose? Your running game is inept. I mean, it showed a lot of heart against Pittsburgh on the road against a good defense and good defensive line, but they're not getting the consistency, and that's the problem. What's up, Cuts? I need to go get some. I need some of that food to make me feel better, man. You send me some of them ribs you had up in the pit, man. That's the hell. That's what I need. You can and cut the guys, but you got to have guys to replace them. So um, I just don't know why Dalvin. Yeah, it's like they put him in. He's like in case of emergency, break glass. Well, the emergency started now. We are in crisis mode. We are getting this thing going. So what the hell are you going to do? And like I said, man, this is frustrating for any Cowboys fan because you're going to get the team's best. The Lions gave it to us. They beat our ass, and they showed no mercy. It was like Cobra Kai, man. No mercy. They ran it up on us. They did the trick plays. They had the linemen out there going in there. They had all this. So you got to own it. You got to just accept it. You got to see what it does to you. After this bye, they've got a tough stretch, man. They got San Francisco. You've got, I think, what is it? San Francisco, Atlanta, not in any particular order. You've got the Texans and you got Philly. I mean, the only saving grace in there is Philly because they're about as inept as we are right now, and that's saying a whole lot. I mean, they're just their coaches yelling at their fans after a win, after an ugly win that they probably easily could have lost to the Browns, and the Browns quit last week. I think they're just going there to collect a paycheck, but um, yeah, I don't know what the future is with Zeke. I mean, I love Zeke. I think there could be a role with Zeke, but he's not the lead dog. He needs to. You got to have a lead dog. And if it's Rico, then it's Rico. But I just, even in the Steeler game, showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of guts. But I mean, even the yards would carry the break. It's just not there. And I wouldn't change coach. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't change coaches. I mean, I wouldn't change it this year. After this year, you can look at it, but I'm not changing coaches this year. I mean, I don't know. I like the offensive coordinator. Yeah, for the that the Lions. What's his name? Ben. The hell's his name? He's good. He's going to be a head coach this off season, and that's where I say is if you make a coaching change, please, Jerry, don't go retread. Don't go the Belichick route. Don't go or Gus Johnson. Is it Gus Johnson? Is that it? Oh no, you Wonka show. Who's that? I'm talking about, or is that? I thought his name was Ben Johnson or something like that. But I would go a coordinator, and you look at what that guy does. I like him. I like the way he runs that offense. I like the creativity that he has. I mean, he had the Cowboys defense on their heels. Ben Johnson, yeah, there. I knew it was Ben something. Definitely, he would be top. He would be top on the list. Top on the list if I was going to make a coaching change. But I wouldn't make a midseason coaching change. And the main reason why I mean, again, don't be knee jerk. You're 3-3. You're 3-3. You're going to have your bye week. You're going to get healthy. See what happens. See what happens. The NFC, like I said, it's not dominant. The Lions look like world beaters today, but they didn't look so great, 2 weeks ago and the week before that. So there's just it's a week to week league, man. The Lions are going to remember last week. Remember Washington was the team. Are they the Super Bowl contender in the NFC? Are they the number one team? This week it's going to be, are the Lions the team? The Lions just beat the shit out of the Cowboys. They've got to be the team. Next week it's going to be whoever that next team is. The NFC is just, it's so wide open. I just wouldn't. I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm hitting the. I'm very close to the in case of emergency break glass. I'm to that point. Only because I see nothing. I see nothing. It's from this offense. I see nothing from this offense. So, but anyway, I mean, we'll see what happens. So, let's see. So overall, we're at 500. So it's a new start. That's the way you think. I mean, they got to get their shit together, but if everyone was honest with themselves, everyone knew the schedule was going to be this, and most people either had the Cowboys 3-3 and 4-2, all healthy. So it's not that far off to what we thought the season was going to start. We always said the early part of the season and this mid, to halfway point is going to be brutal for the Cowboys on their schedule, and then it's going to lighten up near the end. Will that stay true? I mean, you know how these teams are, but I'm just I don't know, man. It's just, I love my Cowboys. I love the football. I love Cowboys Nation. Embarrassing. I've never shut off a game, and I didn't shut this game off, but I was close. I did leave the cave. We had dinner, watched his background noise, and talked to my daughter and stuff like that. But I like, I don't know. I like to sit through the pain because I think you need that. And it's really easy to just say F everybody and F the guys, they all suck. And then last week, those same people were saying, oh my God, Dak's the man. And, we got our running game and the defense showed a lot of grit and showed a lot of heart. So, all of that is, it comes with being a fan. You let the emotions out. That's why I say, come on here, guys, let the emotions, tell us how much we suck. I can deal with it. Let the emotions out. More importantly, if you're hanging with your boy, we had a great show today with Greg. We're going to do it a lot tomorrow. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe if you haven't already, man. You do your boy a favor, working hard. We work hard for you guys, Cowboys Nation. We love you. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. But tomorrow's going to be a new day. They're going to have to get. They're going to have to get their shit together on offense. And again, I'm not giving the defense a pass, but this my frustration of this game is 100% on the offense. And yes, go Mets. Go Mets. I'm watching the game now, so hopefully the Mets can make things a little happier. I grew up a Mets fan. I'm not as big of a baseball fan today, but the 86 Mets are still my favorite team of all time. So anyway, just sucks when we believe in that. That's the hard part is you believe in them and you think they got to figure it out. And you say, you know what? They got their shit together. They are going to get it going. And then they shit the bed. And it is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But again, to me, disgraceful to the offense. 9 points against, we talked about on the show today, 9 points against a Lions defense that you can score on and you can throw on and you can do everything. We could not throw a touchdown against that defense. Again, our defense depleted. I think we on our show today, most people had the score. If Dallas were to win, it was going to be heavy in the 30s. Detroit was going to score 30s. Some of them had them in the 40s. So I don't think there was a big surprise that the defense got beat up the way it did. I don't. I mean, if any Cowboy fan actually thought our defense was going to go in there and shut them down, you are the most optimistic, and they call me that optimistic Cowboys fan. You got to be the most optimistic Cowboys fan because I had them scoring 32. Um, and I was probably being generous. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things. But the thing is, um, and that's the good thing with me, Carl, is I will. And you're an Eagle fan. I will give criticism to my team. You, unfortunately, you don't want to admit the Eagles are a shit show. Their fans are yelling at the coach after an ugly win against Cleveland, a team that quit and got run off the field by Washington and these other teams. And I mean, Cowboys beat every team's beat the shit out of them. And then the Giants beat the shit out of them too. So the NFC East, and we talked about on the show, the NFC East. Appreciate it, Chris. The NFC East is just a problem. And this may end up being, the year they've never had repeat. And maybe this is the year Washington's just going to sneak up and win the division. And you know what? It'll maybe that's what they need. But I think the NFC East, you start to see it changing because I think the Cowboys, if things don't go well for them at the end of the year, I think you will see a coaching change. I think you're going to see them go. There is not a doubt in my mind the Eagles will have a new coach next year. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was this year. There's definitely something up, and you can see that he's losing his love affair even with the fans to be chirping back and forth with them after a win. It's odd. It's I mean, and thing I'll give Philly fans are very passionate about their teams and they don't hold nothing back. So I think that's a marriage that's coming to a divorce anytime soon. And we tried to warn them about Kellen Moore, but I found it interesting. They hadn't scored a touchdown in the first half or whatever that stat was. It was amazing. So definitely some issues, but that's why I say is with if you're a Cowboys fan, you're looking at some of these teams and there's a lot of flaws, and there's a lot of flaws, and there's a lot of flaws on a lot of these teams out there. So it's just getting hot at the right time. The only concern I have about the Cowboys team getting hot at the right time is the running. It's still to me, it all comes down to the running back, and you've got to be able to run the football, and Dak's got to be able to play better. And a running game helps the quarterback so much. If you're going to ask Dak Prescott to throw the ball 50 or 60 times, that's not his. That ain't him. I mean, there's you know Mahomes, that's about the only one that I would be saying. So it's interesting, but like I said, it's disappointing with these Cowboys. I don't want to just keep beating a dead horse, but they've got a lot of thinking that they need to do from a leadership standpoint because no team should come in your house and beat the shit out of you the way the Lions did, the way the Ravens did, even though the score was close. I was there. They got dominated, and the way that the Saints did, the way that the Packers did. You should not allow that to happen in your house. That's your home field. It just, there's a reason why the Canes had the longest home winning streak, 59 games in college football history. There's a sense of pride you have playing at home, and you didn't see that pride. You didn't see it. And that's the part that's a little concerning is them just settling and them kind of accepting that because now it's kind of like I said, it's very hard to lose that many games at home. And it's weird. They're undefeated on the road, they're winless at home. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I don't know if I've ever seen a team in the NFL that plays so bad at home and plays so well on the road. It's really odd. And then the year before they played so well at home. It really last like 3 years. They've been very, very good at home. So it's just very strange. Just a strange year for them, but they got to figure their shit out. I know Kelly. I seen some tweets. I know my man Kelly. put out his video. And the beauty is, with Cowboys and content, I'm seeing it now is Cowboys losing is great for content. It's not great for me because I hate losing. I don't like talking about the team when they lose. I typically just kind of yeah, I'm not an angry and get all like crazy. Years ago I used to, but now it's like, you know what? We'll see what happens next week. Like I said, I'm not knee jerk. Let all the shit play out and see where it goes. But it's just, it's amazing the attention. My videos go up, 1,000% when they lose. All of a sudden, things will go viral because they lose or this or that. It's just crazy. But it's good for business. It's good for business. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's been fun. I just wanted to hang with you guys for a little bit, let you guys maybe let off some steam. I'll take you guys for what we need to do. We got to get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the coach, get rid of everyone, fire everybody, and let's start fresh. But no, all kidding aside, man. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday, man. Enjoy it. We got the Mets and the Dodgers, little playoff baseball. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So enjoy it. You got some Sunday night football. We got a little Monday night football. Jimmy D and I will be in the cave tomorrow night. We'll kind of recap all this NFL. Where the hell are we at in the NFC? Cowboys going into their bye week. Hopefully they can get healthy. But really, physically, they need to get healthy, but mentally, they need to get healthy. And there needs to be some accountability on some of the leaders of this team that it cannot go on anymore. I mean, there's got to be some sort of accountability. So I appreciate it. You guys take care, man. You guys have a great evening. Be safe. Peace out. And where's my ending? You guys take care.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.